listening to the Really Very Crunchy podcast with your hosts, Emily
and Jason. So I don't think I did a very good job last week announcing our tour. I was like, it's the Really Very Crunchy 1,000 Hours Outside Something.
It's 1,000 Hours Outside Something. We see who put their name first.
Yeah. And, but I need to emphasize, we are going on tour with 1,000 Hours Outside.
And This Way Home.
Yes.
The amazing husband-wife musical duo who has brought me to tears with their music.
Yeah, they're
so beautiful.
Pretty good. Also, the lead singer of Sanctus Real.
Yes, he is in This Way Home.
Yeah.
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 Not also. So
that's crazy. I hate, I mentioned this, going on stage. And, you can see in the description, reallyverycrunchy.com/tour to find out what cities and what times and to get your tickets.
We're mostly in the Heartland.
Yeah.
Is Michigan still considered the Heartland?
I don't know.
It's more the neck, right?
It's the esophagus land. Esophagus land down to the Heartland, getting into the bowels a little bit with Georgia. But we love you, Georgia.
Yeah, I'm saying, like,
okay, stomach, not bowels. Well, we're not in Florida yet. I'm kidding. You know, biblically, you know, when they used to say that I have a yearning in my bowels or something like that, because that's where they'd feel stuff. Start feeling things in your heart, you need to go to the doctor. If we're talking literally.
This is not the material that will be on the tour. Don't worry.
Yeah, this is straight up ad-lib, and we're not going to ad-lib anything. So we're sort of talking personalities today. Part of my personality, and people debate personality types, the validity of personality types, and there's different tests and different.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, we'll go in that debates it or that loves it.
No, debates it.
You eat it up. Oh no, you debate it.
I eat it up, and I'm like, well, we're all different. So
yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
But there's all different types or whatever. But part of what makes me who I am, going back to the tour, I get terrible stage fright. And I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know where it comes from. Now, you read all the time that is like the number one fear of all people. It's getting up in front of people. Like if you read the list of fears, it's like worse than dying. People are more afraid of getting up in front of people than dying.
Can't relate.
That's weird. I don't feel that. Mm-hmm. I would get up in front of anybody to save my life or the lives of others. Some others, not everybody. Just kidding.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
I sort of believe you.
Well, no. If somebody's life was on the line and they're like, you have to get up on stage or they die. I think I would get up on stage. And then I would get on stage and say, arrest this man. He's threatening the life of another to get me on stage. He needs to go to jail. That's what would happen. And this scenario is weird. You crave the stage.
Do I crave the stage?
You thrive on the stage.
I usually do well on stage. I'm usually a better version of myself on stage.
Can I ask a question? Who is more of a narcissist? The person who is so afraid to get on stage, probably because they don't want to look like an idiot to everybody, or the person who craves the stage
I've never
so
said
that they can have everybody looking at them on stage.
I've never said that I crave the stage. I don't crave the stage.
Didn't you just say you're the best version of yourself on the stage?
Yeah, I don't crave it though, but
you don't strive to be the best you can be?
It just so happens that the adrenaline and the endorphins kick just right.
See, to me, that's called nervousness.
Yeah, but it helps me turn it on. It helps me be funnier, be wittier, be better, be bigger.
Wait, so your nervousness turns into better performance?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
My nervousness turns into just crumpling within myself and falling on the floor and trying not to drool.
For the record, I haven't been on stage very much because I could not get a part in a play.
But you've done speeches this year. You've gotten in front of hundreds of people in the recent months. At the Wellness Collective, one of the other speakers, as we were walking off stage, she's like, "You're so funny." Oh, wow. And I was like, "Oh, thanks." I don't know. Something kicks in, and it's probably also that I'm sort of a physical comedian. That doesn't come through on a podcast. Yeah. You can't see my twitching. You're not doing twitching. She twitches a lot. You should. But on stage, you can see all those subtle, like physical twitches and. So, yeah, I think it just works out. I think I have an awkward presence. And that comes through as comedic. But I also know the elements of performance. Speaking clearly, speaking loudly, getting as much involvement as you can. I understand how to write a good speech, or at least, sort of. I'm impressed by your speech writing. So, yeah. I like that. I do like the performance. And I think I am better on stage. How do you feel when you're, do you ever feel not overly prepared, or do you need to be like super practiced? Like if you don't have, could you ad lib your way through? Oh, probably not. An hour long thing or whatever, 30 minute thing. Not an hour long thing, probably a 30-minute thing. Yeah. And I do think that I could, especially in a conversation. Oh, yeah. Or like that panel that we did. That was fun, and I was, on, but it was just little questions here and there. Yeah. So. Well, I have been on stage with memorized lines, and I can't remember my lines. What? When? Well, when I worked at a camp, I had a role in a play, and I did it every week for 9 weeks, and I didn't remember my lines. Up until the last week, I didn't remember my lines. And I practiced. We did rehearsals. Never remembered my lines. Now, when we were doing like the other skits where you're like teaching the rules of the camp and things like that, I could ad lib and it was funny. And it was just a bunch of kids in the audience. Didn't really care that much, whatever. But I was so nervous in the more serious type of thing and never remembered my lines. It was pretty embarrassing. That's not good. So I'm just preparing you all for this. I'll just carry the weight, I guess. You didn't know that? Whisper the lines to you. No, I didn't know that you couldn't remember your camp counselor lines. Come on, Jason. Well, I was an area director in leadership counselor. So 2 years before that. Well, anyway, and there was this other time. There's one time I had to give a speech in college in a history class on a historical figure. I got up in front of the class, and it was the worst performance I have ever given in my entire life. Do you remember who it was? The teacher or the who? No, I don't. I have no idea. First of all, you probably didn't prepare. You probably thought, I'll just look it up the night before, and then you failed to prepare, so you prepared to fail. I'm guessing. Oh, wow. I knew you in college. That's profound. Did you get that from your high school yearbook? I knew you in college, and I knew that is something you would do. So. Okay, fine. And I didn't prepare for the camp one either. Not very well. You didn't try. I read them before I went up on stage. Yeah. Yeah. So the key is to memorizing it. Yeah, that's a big part. But I also, whenever I gave my speeches, they weren't memorized, but I had read through them lots of times so that I was familiar with the content, and then I could, have times that I look up. Wait, and so what you're saying is the key is to being prepared? I think that's a big key for some people. Some people obviously can just go up. So I obviously cannot just go up. You're not one of those people. But, all the stand-up comedians, every time you see that's memorized. Yeah. That is a prepared bit. Well, the best ones are the ones it doesn't look memorized. Mm-hmm. It looks off the cuff. but none of it really is.
Yeah.
Or very rarely.
Yeah. Or they'll do like slight audience engagement to make it feel a little more off the cuff. And they can ad lib jokes there.
I'm always impressed by the comedians who will just like roast people, roast hecklers or whatever. But after a while, if you watch enough of those, you start to see a pattern that they have some things ready to go for the type of heckler that they have in the crowd. Like they have, I don't know, 10 memorized things that they can go for about that heckler. And then you sort of, but I mean,
kind of like how I have lines memorized so that I don't just go,
I can see that.
Same.
Well, I'll prepare for this one.
Thank you, because it's my reputation on the line.
I mean, I exist too.
Yeah, but I get asked to do speeches. And so then if people see that and then they have a connection for a future potential speech and they're like, oh, it was awful, terrible.
Yeah.
The worst.
I think I've said before I actually chose journalism because I didn't have to take a speech class. That was a smart move.
That's crazy. That's why you chose it, because you didn't have to do public speaking.
It played a part. Yeah.
I actually won the speech competition at our university in my public speaking 101. Thank you.
Oh, it was just 101?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like a 300 level class.
No.
It's like exhibition.
But I did have to give a huge speech whenever I was graduating, and something went wrong with the PowerPoint, and I was so memorized that I was like unplugging things and doing the computer while giving my speech. I didn't miss a beat. It was so memorized.
Wow.
I just kept going and seemed like I knew exactly what I was doing. I'm like over here panicking because the projector wasn't working.
See, that shouldn't be on you.
I figured it out while I was giving my speech without saying, excuse me a moment.
Wow.
That's how memorized I was.
See, I would have been in that.
I still took off 2 points. And
what?
I know.
For the teacher's failure?
I was so annoyed.
You didn't install the computer?
No, I think it was all the kids had their PowerPoints brought up that were going to be giving the speech that day. And
how old are you? The kids? You call college people kids now?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't.
You got to be like 45 before you start calling them the kids.
Okay. All the students.
What are you doing to us? My goodness.
Anyway, okay, so tips.
Yeah. What are some tips you could give me other than prepare yourself or you prepare to fail?
That's a massive tip.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
You just repeated what I just said.
You know what's funny?
What?
I asked you if you got that out of your yearbook. It was actually somebody's quote in their yearbook from when I was in school. Not mine, because I didn't ever put a quote down.
I was going to say, I don't think I even had the option to put a quote.
Other people did, and I didn't. They didn't
Probably
want my
had to
quote.
pay extra.
Mine would have been something like, "You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than this school."
Okay, tips. So
breathe.
Yeah, I'm not very good with breath stuff. I know that I should be an excellent belly breather, and I do practice that, but I'm really not. I'm not focusing on my breath, okay? Take the energy that you're feeling.
Nervous energy, like about to shut down, okay?
And use it. Let it pour out of you.
I'm here!
Right. That's exactly what I do.
I'm on stage. I am so nervous. I gotta be crazy.
Yeah, and like do a little dance, do a little jig. Yeah, that is exactly how I cope. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, even if it's not written in.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm telling you, I just feed it. Like just
so the more nervous you are, the more outgoing you have to be.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be like, I don't know, Robin Williams level crazy on stage, but without the wit and humor.
So that's one. Another one is don't look at people in the eye.
Oh.
Just look above them. Just look like at the back wall.
What if it's stadium seating?
There's
then
still
I'm looking
a wall.
at the people up there. I can't look at the ceiling. Hey, everybody, how's it going?
I think you could.
You all look great tonight. And they're all like, why is he looking at the ceiling?
Half the time, the lights are so bright, you can't even see anyway.
Oh, great. A spotlight. Awesome.
But yeah, just don't look anybody in the eyes. And if you want to, like there were a few people, or just pick 2 or 3 people who are really warm to you to
I gotta
look
find
at.
them. What if they don't exist? What if they're all just arms folded like,
No.
don't like this man?
What if, aren't we doing like VIP?
VIP, yeah. Where's the VIP seating? I'm only talking to you guys right
They
here.
love you. They paid extra to meet you.
Who came here for 1,000 hours outside? Okay. Who came here for really very crunchy? Me. All right, I'm looking at you. All right. I'm looking at you the whole time. What's your name?
At the Wellness Collective, I found like 3 people who were really like the naughty type.
You're that type. You're that type if you don't even like the person on stage because you want to be so nice and encouraging to them. You're like, yeah, keep going. You're doing great. Excuse me, ma'am. Could you please stop talking? I'm trying to give a speech. You've got this. I know. I've done this 5,000 times.
Anyway,
You're doing great on this podcast.
that's what you do. You nod and you smile and
as an audience member.
Yeah.
You find that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that helps. If
What
you're
if we
if you're
just
gonna look at
go
people.
back and forth? Like, you know how sometimes you mimic the person you're communicating with? Like, as you're talking, you start moving your mouth or whatever. What if you just start nodding at the person?
You
who's
do
nodding
that.
at you?
I don't move my mouth.
Whatever.
I move my mouth when I'm reading. In my head, I move my mouth, but I don't move my mouth when someone else is talking, and you do it all the time. I see you.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. When we're watching a video of ours that we've made, I'm watching your mouth, and it's like you're mouthing the lines.
No.
Yes, and it cracks me up. And I've never told you, but
I don't do that. That's a lie.
No.
It's a lie for the podcast to try to get a laugh out of the audience
it
members.
is not. And then also, you even do it on stuff you've never seen before. You start moving your mouth.
Okay, well, I'll accept your lies.
I do it when I'm reading, and you make fun of me for that.
Oh,
so.
I'm surprised you haven't let me have it because I just let you have it every time you're reading something.
I never noticed. See, my mom does it, and it actually, I thought it was like a quirky thing she did. You know, something you roll your eyes at, and then you caught me doing it, and you're like, you're just as bad as your mom.
Well, so that's it. Don't find the warm person or look at the ceiling. Use your energy and just let it go on the stage.
But most importantly, prepare. Yes, I think the preparation part is the key. That is the aspect that you're missing.
I would say that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but you don't do it.
I don't like homework. I've
I
never
get
really
that.
done homework before. No. We'll be prepared for this show.
Yeah.
At least by the last 2. We'll have it down. First 3, Michigan, I'm sorry.
It's going to be great.
I feel bad for Grand Rapids.
If you have to
Because
just
they're going to be like,
step away,
they're
I'll
going to take my
have something.
first.
I'll have something alternate prepared.
No, that's just extra work. I'll be good. I'm good. I'm one of the bravest people you know. You said it in the last episode.
And it was so funny because at the end of the episode, what was it? You said something about being afraid. Of public speaking.
Yeah, public speaking. That's a different kind of fear. Like, I'll throw myself in front of a wild dog, but, don't put me on the stage. I'm a narcissist.
It is really strange to me that you don't care what people think about you. All these terrible comments we get, all the, like, if we've gotten any negative news coverage, if we've gotten, even in real life, like people who dislike us in real life, you're like, I don't care, whatever.
And that's
but
very true.
I care.
Yeah.
I do care what people think about me, and I don't like that part of me, but I do care. And so it's funny because I get on stage and I can entertain, but you supposedly don't care what people think about you.
What I don't, what bothers me in a live situation is putting myself out there as somebody who knows what they're doing or talking about, and then messing that up and looking like a fool. I don't want to look like a fool, but I also don't care if people don't like what I have to say when I know what I'm talking about, or when I'm proud of what I'm doing. Like, so for instance, if we put out a video and people are trashing it, well, I like what I put out. If I like what I put out on the video, or what we made together on a video or a podcast episode or whatever, I can stand by that because I truly believe it. However, if I'm putting myself out there on stage and wanting to give a good performance and make people laugh, but all I hear is crickets, well, that's a different kind of embarrassment, because that's something I'm putting myself out there in something I'm not sure of. And then I have this failure. And so it's just a different kind of thing. I can say something and not care. Like, I don't care what he thinks about that, because that's what I believe and that's what I'm going to say. But I'm going to put on a great show for you tonight. And then I start trying to juggle, and, people are leaving. And it's like, well,
let's talk about people leaving.
It's just different, is all I'm saying. Have you ever had people get up and leave a speech?
At the Wellness Collective, the second day, not the first day. The first day the crowd was so warm. I don't know. The second day I saw a couple people get up towards the
just
end
two?
of my speech.
Oh, they had to be somewhere. You were the last one to speak.
Two. Yeah, but that's like a level of...
Wait. Were they standing? Were they next to each other?
No.
So you had once told me it was about 4 people.
Yeah.
So
I could have been 2 or 3.
Okay, let's say 3. Were any of them near each other in the room? They were in different parts of the room.
Yeah.
That's bad news. That's not good. If they were near each other, it's like, well, we carpooled. It's time to go. We got to go. I got a baby. Were any of them carrying a baby?
None.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So.
Were they local?
I don't know. There's like 400 something people in the room.
Well,
so 397 people stayed.
Only 3 people get up and leave and disgust. That's not too bad.
It wasn't even disgust. It was lack of interest.
Did any of them say, "I'm out of here. That's it. I'm done with this"? No. Then you're good. That's fine.
Maybe they had to pee. Maybe
all 3 of them at the same time.
Here's what I think. 1 had to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
1 didn't want to fight the traffic. She had a baby that needed her and was crying.
The third one?
Yeah. She didn't have the baby with her, but her husband was texting her like, when are you going to be back? Such and such is tired. She's crying.
Well, I'm glad you believe that none of it had anything to do with you. That's good.
I'm telling myself that, Jason.
Okay, let's talk about
But I also think they were probably there to see Sally Clarkson, and I'm not Sally, so they're like, okay. And also,
I have something to throw out there.
They told me to give, was it a 45-minute? It was an hour-long speech.
Yeah.
An hour-long speech. If somebody says, Emily, give an hour-long speech, I'm giving an hour-long speech. Not a minute longer, not a minute shorter. But I guess an hour is kind of long. And what they meant was you have an hour. They didn't say this to me. They loved my speech, whatever, the people organizing it. But all the other speakers also had an hour slot and didn't necessarily use it in its entirety.
Would have been good information to know.
I feel like if you're getting paid to speak for an hour, I'm giving it my all.
All right. Well.
Also, the people who paid to come see it, they paid. What if you went to a movie and it said it was an hour and a half and you only got an hour worth of movie?
Depends on how good the movie was.
I guess that's true. But what if you planned your whole day around the hour and a half?
And it was only an hour and 20 minutes? I would go to the bathroom or something. I think.
Well, that's what that one lady did.
Oh, well, I thought this was only going to be a 45-minute speech. Mm-hmm. I'm going to the bathroom. You don't take the criticism as well as I do. But that also could be kind of more of a masculine, feminine trait, right? Is that not sort of a thing, I mean, there's a lot of guys just, I don't care. You don't find that in women as much.
Yeah.
I know that's a blanket
women
statement.
are
but
generally more sensitive than men.
Right.
I'm not saying there can't be sensitive men or hardened women.
Hardened women.
But I don't know. I think you are able to look at criticism, especially online criticism, as like that's not even a real person. Do you think of it that way or what? Like,
no,
because it doesn't hurt you at all.
I don't think of it as not a real person. I
I'm
think of it as a
thinking
person that
about-
doesn't matter in my life.
Yeah, but what if you met that person face to face and they said those things face to face, whatever they're saying?
What sort of things?
Like, I hate her. Okay, so the other day, actually, it has to do with our tour. I was just searching really very crunchy tour dates so I could tell my mom, because I wasn't thinking about pulling up the posts that we made about it. I was just like trying to think of the quickest way to get the dates. And nothing came up, but at the top of
Well, it was new. It was just announced it.
Yeah, I know. At the top of the like search was a Reddit thread.
Oh, come on.
And I don't make
Don't
it happen.
ever click that.
I
You
don't.
Listen, rule number 1 about Reddit. If your name is in a Reddit thread, don't read it.
I understand. And I have made the mistake of reading Reddit threads and then deciding I'm never going to read another Reddit thread.
But this is a new one.
It was right there and it said 4 days old. So I was like, 4 days?
That's within
Somebody's-
date.
Yeah, somebody's got something to say about me within the last 4 days.
Huh.
So I
What
click
did
it.
I do in the last 4 days to warrant another Reddit thread?
It's like somebody's like, I'm writing a college paper about Emily Morrow, and part of it
They're
is
probably listening to this right now as a study for their paper.
I just want to know.
Here, can I give you advice on writing the paper? Do it the night before. And, Chat GPT's around. Just tweak it a little bit. You don't have to do it.
Well, whoever used Chat GPT to write that book about me thinks I was born and raised in Indiana, a rural town in
with
Indiana.
your sisters, and it was bad.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was just curious. It was 4 days old. I had to click, and it wasn't good. Wasn't pretty.
There was plenty of people.
There were
coming to
people
bat
who were
for
like,
you.
I like her. I think she's funny. There were a few, but a lot of people were like, I hate her stuff. I follow, but I never watch. Okay.
But there's a common
doesn't
theme
matter.
with all of these people that are coming against you. Number 1, they have almost zero in common with you as a human.
Sure.
And they already stand against what you already believe as a person on
Okay.
just about anything.
Well, they're
A lot
in
of
the
these.
moderate. They're on a moderately granola Reddit thread, so they are moderately crunchy,
Maybe.
supposedly.
Okay. I would wager that most of them don't even really know what that means.
A lot of them are like, I thought it was completely satire. When I realized that she believes in the crunchy stuff, then I had to unfollow.
As though that's offensive. It's so offensive that you would eat organic food over non-organic food. It's like, but you're anti-science. I'm like, no, that's a blanket statement too.
That's not what they're talking about. Organic food on the science thing.
What? No, I was saying that as a different thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm saying they have different points, and they have to stick to their religion of science, and if you go against their religion of science, they're gonna.
But what are you even
hate
talking about of science?
Their Bible is scientific studies.
And so is a crunchy person's next to the Bible.
If you're a Bible believing crunchy person.
The Bible comes first, but
Bible comes first, and research a close second.
no, I'm just saying, crunchy people love scientific studies, and you can find a study.
So long as it's in their favor.
Well, so
that's
do those
everybody.
people.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
You can pretty much find anything anyway.
It's so funny. People fight with their weapons, or they're throwing tomahawks of scientific studies at each other, and they're all like, it's the opposite things. Like, well, my study says this. Well, this one's from 1992, and it says this. Well, this one's from 97, and it's just like it's going to keep going because there's going to be a study that wants to validate this person's view. There's going to be this study that validates this person's view, and then there's studies that are funded by companies that really shouldn't be funding the studies because the studies should be independent.
Yeah.
Jason's a conspiracy theorist Reddit thread. Come on. So, I mean, it doesn't matter.
I understand, but anyway.
That's why I call it the religion of science. I mean, it's like that's all they have that's all they go on. And you cannot dispute something that they think is scientifically true, even if you have a study to refute it. You cannot dispute it, or you are suddenly offensive to them.
Dangerous.
You're dangerous.
I'm dangerous.
You're dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what a lot of the people said. I'm dangerous.
Which, I'm sorry, that's stupid.
And, okay, I do want to walk it back a little because at one point we were like, it's comedy. It's comedy. So, like, our videos are clearly comedy. And I feel like maybe that wasn't very clearly understood. When something is clearly comedy, like a video about lollipops, it's clearly for laughs, then it should be taken as comedy. But that's called the nuance of life. Like, when someone's joking, you can tell they're joking. And that's what we were referring to in that one podcast episode that we got that message about. Like, well, actually, you do have influence over people. Well, yeah, when we're talking or whenever I'm putting out a sincere book about something, but you can tell the difference, right? I mean, you can tell the difference, right? When something's comedy.
I'm not sure some people can.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Reddit thread was just full of how I'm awful and should be avoided.
And how much people love you.
A couple.
A few.
Couple.
There's love out there. And if you do love Emily, write a 5-star review. Or just hit the like button. I'm just kidding. All right. When life hands you lemons, write a Reddit thread.
Speaking of quotes, I had a painted car when I was in high school, like hippy dippy, because it was from 1981 and it was a free brown car that was, not beautiful. And I painted it to be beautiful, but on the back bumper, I did the life gives you lemons. Lemonade, like so cliche. That would have been my high school quote had I put one in. That is another thing that's really funny. It's just people saying that the crunchy movement is an echo chamber when they then go to their echo chamber.
On their specific Reddit threads that are basically titled My Echo Chamber.
Right.
It's like, this is what you can talk about. And if you dissent, you will be downvoted and hounded until we push you off of this app.
What is the downvote thing?
It's your comment stinks and nobody wants to read it.
Oh, well, the ones that said I love her
got downvoted. Well, yeah, see that. And they want to talk about echo chambers. No. None of that here. We don't want to talk about love for her. We want to destroy her. Because we're open-minded.
Okay, well, the criticism does get to me.
Yeah.
And when somebody criticizes me in comments, it gets to me. But I can take it there because it's like, well, this is an open forum and you're saying it to my face in a way. When someone's making a comment on a video, they know that I'm likely to see it, so they have the guts to say it there. But to go to a Reddit thread,
that's even worse.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's because
like they're talking
they
about
are
me
such
behind my
cowards.
back.
They're such cowards.
That's what it feels like, though, is that they're talking about me behind my back. If you want to say something, just come say it on one of my videos or come DM me or send me an email or whatever.
With your name attached.
Or send me a letter in the mail.
Oh, man. Do I need to go get that? No, I guess not. We did get a letter in the mail.
Are we supposed to talk about this?
We're not going to say who it's from, but goodness, come on, people. We got a letter, and this is on top of comments, a couple, again.
Email.
A couple of emails and comments saying that they don't like how we talk to each other.
It's so weird.
Especially how you talk to me. Let's be clear here. It's
just
how
wanna
you
say-
talk to me.
Okay. People think that I am disrespectful. Really? I don't see it.
I demand your respect, Emily, and you don't give it on this podcast.
I think that some marriages do really well without any humor and with the conventional.
I can't imagine a humorless marriage.
I don't know. I'm telling you, if I was the woman they want me to be, you wouldn't be married to me, I don't think.
Guessing not.
You like a sassy. You want sass.
I want a little bit of sass in my life.
You want me to entertain you. You want me to pick on you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have
Right?
fun with
Okay,
this
wait.
type of conversation.
Wait, let me say. Do you want me to pick on you?
Are you picking on me? I've never taken it. I've never taken it as you picking on me.
Do you think I'm disrespectful?
Not in the least bit. This is how we talk. We're animated people. Man, you guys, whoever have been commenting and sending us physical, surely you've never spent time in New York or up east or something where people just talk to you like this, you know? It's like...
I don't think it's our tone. It's what I say. Or like somebody
I
did
think
say on that
tone,
Reddit
part of
thread.
it.
Somebody said on that Reddit thread.
That Reddit thread.
That
Good
Reddit
grief.
thread.
They talked a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, they said she thinks her parenting style is better than her husband's, and I don't like that she...
Newsflash, we have the same parenting style and we agree upon it.
I actually don't know if we have the same parenting style, but mine is better. Okay, maybe we have the same parenting style. We don't have the same follow through.
Oh, yeah. No, we have different levels of how
Commitment.
Commitment's not the right word. Ability to follow through, ability to implement that style.
Here's the thing. We actually are very open and talk about our parenting strategies,
No,
right?
woman, we're going to do it this way. And that's because I said so.
Well, we do talk about it. And so
No more. No more. We're implementing what these commenters said. And letter writer.
Just so you know, commenter, listener,
Letter writer.
I'm doing this because Jason asked me to be on the podcast.
This episode, I wanted to center around criticism because of that letter
Jason.
and the comments, but the letter especially. That was like the cherry on top. They sent us a 2-3 page typed letter about our disrespect and our conversation. And it's like, you don't know our lives and you obviously don't understand nuance and humor and how we talk to each other. We're having a fun time. This is fun for me. This is like, do people not talk like this?
I don't know. I
I know this tone sounds like I'm fighting.
I don't think it's the tone.
I think it's part of the
just
tone.
me. It's just me. I think it's
They
me.
don't think a woman should talk to their husband unless she has permission. That's what they think.
I don't think
That's
that
what they
even.
think. It's that type. It's like, I didn't say you could talk to me.
I don't think so. I don't think they would.
Why aren't you at the sink?
I don't.
What are we having for dinner? Which I do ask because I'm terrible at making food, but I have other things. If you could edit video, I would learn more about cooking. Okay. That's the trade-off. You learn to edit video, I'll learn to cook. I do the dishes all the time.
Yeah, not as good as me.
I do nothing to do.
The dishwasher, Jason. Come on.
Stacking, okay, whatever. I can't do your
Why would a
OCD
plate
thing
be
where you.
crooked.
It doesn't matter. It gets clean.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
I
We
know.
rinse 'em.
That is one area that I just can't handle is a crazily shoved in there random.
Well, dear, when I
Random
load it, I'll
dishwasher.
unload it. Okay, you won't have to see it.
And then you go to put something in, and it's like, how is a bowl taking up so much room?
Yeah, we should talk about how your homeschool room looks half the time.
How does it look right now, though?
Immaculate.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that was a rant. Rant over. I needed to get that off my chest. Send me more. Send us. Not. I guess it was to you. Not. Well, it was to both of us.
Said both of us.
Send us more letters. Tell us more about how you like or don't like our communication style. I'll put our address in the.
I just think it's unfair to expect all relationships to look the same. And even if you've seen a failed relationship that maybe had aspects of something that you can recognize in our relationship, it doesn't mean that our relationship is failing because there's probably something deeper there.
And it's likely, personality types, if you follow along with that, didn't meld very well. Now, you get into personality types. Yes, it could be on a spectrum, or yes, it could be within this box, whatever. The same idea applies that if you work well together, you work well together, and if you don't, you don't.
And yeah, just different personalities like different things. And I'm telling you, I can't be any more boring. I'm already towing the line of too boring for Jason.
It's a little much.
Boredom have to be sassy and witty and sparky and spunky.
I don't want to do needle felting again. No. I think that's fascinating.
Needle felting?
Mm-hmm.
It is really cool that it's so easy to make.
Okay, here we go.
It's so easy to make the shapes. And you can make stuff look so much better with needle felting than your actual level of artistic ability.
You know what I've noticed?
What?
We yell a lot more in the daytime when we record during the day than we do when we record at night.
We're tired.
Yeah. Sorry, we're recording this in the day. And I feel a lot more energized. I wonder, we should have our shows. Oh, man. Our tour dates are all at night, 7 to 9. We're in bed by 7:30. I don't know what you people are thinking. This show needs to be at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'll be fine.
Just use the nervous energy.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Hi, everyone.
That's my shakes coming through. I don't know why I don't feel like it's the same. We go to a much bigger audience pre-recorded. That's funny because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Sort of. Anyway, I'm not going to go tread backwards. I think we should tell people our personality types. The Briggs, what's it called?
Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs and our Enneagram, which is apparently like witchy, so I don't know.
Oh, Enneagram is?
I don't know. People really don't like it.
Because that friend of mine that was Greek Orthodox said it had something to do with her. It has Orthodox roots.
I could be wrong. I thought people were like, oh, no, that's, I don't know.
No, some people are. Some people are. Some people are.
Okay.
I don't know.
So just for those people.
Oh, that was another thing in the Reddit comments.
What, your Enneagram?
No, I wasn't good at researching.
Oh.
That's because Jason has the paper.
They weren't talking about the podcast.
Yeah, they were. They said clearly from listening to the podcast, she's not very good at researching things.
Oh.
We're just not talking about the things I researched.
Have you heard?
Oh, wait.
I
no,
do. Look.
There was another comment that said they heard me on the 1,000 Hours Outside podcast. I just have to address this because this one got under my skin the most.
It's going to create a new Reddit.
On the 1,000 Hours Outside podcast, I said that while I was writing, I found myself having to find research for beliefs that I held.
Mm.
And I was referring to something such as children who are breastfed have fewer allergies. Well, that makes sense to me. I had heard that before I started writing.
And so therefore you want to find the research to make sure the research is actually there.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Before just saying
it in a book, yes.
Right.
So they were saying like they won't take anything that I say as actual valid information because of that statement.
They took that as you trying to validate what you already believe.
Yeah.
Where you've already read a study, you just didn't necessarily have the study in your brain to write it down in the moment.
Yeah. Or
there's a difference.
Or
if it's common knowledge on something.
I read a study that said breastfeeding is more nutritionally
but it gets
dense.
Preached to you for years and years by other people.
Yeah,
and so
then you're like, okay, well, let me see the actual science behind it.
Before I write this down and publish this work.
I called Jenny and I was like, this comment on your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, what do they think nonfiction authors are? Like, you have to do that. You have to find these
otherwise
studies.
you're just putting down things you're stating as fact without the studies, and that's a little bit worse.
Who has written a nonfiction book did not have all that information in their brain. They are not encyclopedias. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And now I'm moving on.
Well, it's weird what people hang on to. Like, they use that, and it's like, well, that's, they're done with me. They're done with me. They should have known that. They should have conducted the study. Like, okay, well.
Okay, back to Enneagram. I have not researched it.
Well,
so I don't know its roots.
What my point was on that was like, for those who are instantly turned off by that and like, we're not getting to that, and we're not listening to that in our car, you know.
We might be a little too strong here, Jason. Might be coming on a little too strong.
I grew up in that kind of family, so. Okay. Anyway, we don't follow these things that much. You know, whatever. I actually had to take the Myers-Briggs thing for a job, the one I got fired from. So is valid. Okay. Anyway, Myers-Briggs, I'm an INTJ.
I'm an ENFP.
ENFP. Did you know that according to people, I don't know what people, hold on. There's a book called Please Understand Me. This is my research. Sorry. We're one of the golden pairings.
Ooh.
According to
golden pairing.
Golden pairing. Sounds like a bird. Yeah. It's when our personalities are so perfect. And what I actually think that it ends up being, when you look at all of the golden pairings, pretty much the opposites attract. And so our Enneagrams, for those who really, really follow that, what's your two-wing what? I thought you were a two-wing one.
That's what I said, but the achiever, success-oriented, pragmatic type, adaptive, excelling, driven, image-conscious. The reformer. I'm not the reformer.
Which one's that?
Rational.
3 or 1?
1. Idealistic, principled, purposeful, self-controlled, perfectionistic. I'm not. I'm a 3.
So you're a two-wing 3.
Those seem like the worst of all of them. Just looking at the list of them, I'm like, man, I wouldn't want to be a 2 or 3. A two-wing 3.
Yeah. I don't know how pairings go on Enneagrams or whatever, but yeah, I'm a 5-wing 4. But when you look at the Enneagrams and you look at the Myers-Briggs, they actually kind of line up. If you kind of like look at a 5-wing 4 and then an INTJ or an ENFP and a 2-wing 3, they're pretty right. And what's strange about it, there's a lot of controversy as to whether or not these are real, but you look at it and it's like, that fits me quite a bit.
Why don't you describe what those are? Because
so the ENFP is the campaigner. That's the name they give it. And along with Enneagram, the 2-wing 3, creative, extroverted, intuitive, empathetic is you kind of the overall sort of. These people tend to embrace big ideas and actions that reflect their sense of hope and goodwill toward others. Their vibrant energy can flow in many directions. They are true
that's
free.
where it gets witchy, Jason. The vibrant energy flowing.
Well, that's just a normal human. People have energy.
I know.
And I don't mean like the hokey kind of energy.
I know.
It's just,
I'm just saying that's where it starts to sound a little.
They're true free spirits.
outgoing, open-hearted, open-minded, with their lively, upbeat approach to life.
Get to the weaknesses, Jason.
People-pleasing, disorganized, overly accommodating, and then the good stuff is curious, optimistic, excellent communicators. So, and then for me, it's,
Let me skim the list.
Well, no,
quick
I'm trying to find the negative. I don't see any.
Narcissists.
They're sensitive to the feelings of rejection and embarrassment. And
okay, I thought you were about to say to the feelings of others, and I was about to laugh so hard.
I do feel sensitive towards others.
Towards others' rejection of you?
My family.
Yeah. You're sensitive
Feelings
to
of
embarrassment. Yeah.
Rejection, embarrassment, which you've made fun of me for so long about because I get embarrassed.
Oh, well, when you get embarrassed, there's a very obvious, you get more aggressive. Not like...
I start throwing things across the room.
No.
We have to get new furniture every week.
Just verbally, like, more tense, more harsh, more...
I ripped my pants the other day and I threw a chair through the window.
That's not what I mean. I just mean there's like you have a very specific mood when you're embarrassed that I can tell is embarrassment. And I remember the first time I saw it in you, and like it has given me insight into how to talk to you in those times.
Not on this podcast. You embarrass me every week.
But you don't like
I'm
it
gonna
when I
start a
say
Reddit thread.
you're just embarrassed.
Well, no. It's like...
Well, they say with kids, you should kind of like tell them what they're feeling to help connect.
Guess
with
what?
them.
I'm not a child.
I understand. But whenever I'm like communicating with the children, like the feeling that you're feeling right now is embarrassment. So what can we do with these feelings?
Sir.
You don't like that. You don't like that.
What can we do with these feelings, sir? Okay, and then the controversy. I just want to gloss over this. I'm done. A lot of people say there's no scientific validity to the tests because basically it comes down to personality as a spectrum. That's so silly to me that you are an INTJ. You are an ENFP. Exactly.
Nobody thinks that.
Oh, really?
You
think so?
People think that?
Yeah, when I got my test, the guy who talked to me is like, there's only 2% of us in the world, INTJs. I was very proud of being an INTJ. And my thought there, though, is that I think your life shapes you and molds you, and your experiences, there's no way you're one thing. There's no way that you're just a 2-wing 3. There's no way you're just a 5. It's fine.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
It's fine to like have an idea of like a general idea of how a person leans, but it's certainly not everything. And I think people take it as everything. They're like, oh, I'm an INTJ. This is how I live my life.
Oh, no.
This is why I am the way I am.
Yeah. Well, that would make me sad if I could be totally defined.
I think people define themselves by these things.
I've never looked at it.
The people who are really into it, you don't feel like they define themselves by it sometimes?
I guess. But I thought it was funny. Like, the disclaimer to me is like, well, duh, because everybody's different.
I bet if anybody gave it much thought in that way, they'd be like, well, yeah, I mean, it is.
We're all people. We have personality tendencies, and there's only so many different types of tendencies that there can be.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be some overlap and ways to.
I'm a 5-wing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
See, I do
not
think
a 1.
I'm a little bit of a 9 because I'm kind of a peacemaker.
Oh, you're into it. I only know 5 because that's me.
And then 4, what's that, emotional, right?
I don't remember. Emo. I think so, yeah.
I'm a little emo.
You did like Dashboard Confessional.
If a song has a little bit of scream crying and some acoustic guitar in there, it speaks to my soul. So, practically a 4.
If that's the correct number.
I'm not very good at researching, so.
Well, yeah, we did come in blind. I actually came into this one today saying, dear, I don't think I'm ready for this one. Should we record it anyway?
Yeah.
So, well, interesting. So.
Kermit the Frog here.
Well, interesting. This has been a great podcast.
I don't know.
I just felt myself breathe in microplastics from the mic. It's in my throat.
It's okay. It's an SM7B. They don't have microplastics. They
This
have
is polyester.
pure golden sound. All right. Check out our tour if you're interested. We're going on. I'm gonna be prepared for it.
I promise. Listen, people, he will be because
He will be because
I am involved, and that is part of my threeness, right? Or would that be?
it's part of your nineness. I don't know. Well, anyway, it's gonna be good. Emily and Jenny will definitely be good. Dustin and Sarah, they'll be great. Me, I might just show up and just walk off stage, and then Emily will have her alternate script to go with, and it'll be wonderful.
Well, Jason, I just wanted to publicly apologize if I have done anything to be disrespectful or offensive, or
What's for dinner? The kitchen's a mess.
I'll try harder. I'll be better.
Thank you for listening to the Really Very Crunchy podcast. If you like this episode, please leave a review, 5 stars, preferably. We're trying to get to 1,000. Come on.
Yeah,
Emily,
somebody
create
did-
a whole bunch of new accounts and get us 5 stars.
Somebody was doing a giveaway. She was giving away $500 if she could get 500 reviews. Should we do that for $1,000?
What? Did it work?
I don't know. She's at 200 something.
For a podcast?
No, it was for her book.
Oh.
If she got 500 Amazon reviews, she's giving away $500.
Actually, we need to cross the threshold of 500. I think something changes in the algorithm.
Should we do that? $500 giveaway?
No, absolutely not. All right.
How about $500 worth of...
Paper clips. We'll give you $500 worth of paper clips if we get to 1,000 reviews.
$500 worth... Oh, wait, no. So if it's 1,000, it has to be $1,000 worth.
We'll give you 1,000 cents worth of something. This is your chance to win 1,000 cents. If we reach 1,000 views.
Reviews.
Did I say views?
Yeah.
That too.
If only.
Yeah, we hit 1,000 reviews. I will send whoever our 1,000th review is 10,000 cents.
Wow. Thank you for listening to the Really Very Crunchy podcast.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have a great week.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. All right. Have a good week, everyone.